What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Taking a look at Casper this morning. It is April 1st. Casper just got a big old breakout to the upside. It looks like we're sitting flat right now, up 12% on the dot. Big old move. Going to jump into a couple different things that we discussed in yesterday's video, as well as a little bit more forward looking, some areas that you could look for Casper's price to find some overhead resistance. So things are moving nice. 1 minute I'm looking at Casper. It's sitting flat basically. It was actually down slightly this morning. It's 5:22 on the East Coast. And then I go back to the charts and it is up 13%. So they hit the trigger, they flipped the switch, and they triggered a massive breakout, the ones in charge who control these markets. So quite interesting. Let's take a deeper dive. Looks like we're sitting up a little over 12% today. Let's take a zoom in. So yesterday's video, which was last day of March, went over a couple different things. One of them was we want to see a higher high get printed and hold a nice close for Casper. So what I was discussing was a breakout above this high here, which was that 890 level. If you go back and watch yesterday's video, you'll see I discuss we want to see a breakout. We want to see a close above 890. And as of yesterday, we had a double top and we were kind of seeing what would happen. Although I did mention probably going to be short term. I didn't think it would have held too much strength. And what I meant was on the bar for the 31st, it was basically a little lower. Actually, I think we hit, let's see, 891. So we actually did get it right up. We ticked right above that 890 level. As of the video, we double topped on the dot at 890. So I was a little concerned there for a double top. And obviously that so far has not played out. We could reverse today and close down, but we had a breakout. So higher high, what I was looking for was, let me throw a higher high. So basically right above that 890 level. So if you are not familiar, I will give a quick review here. So a downtrending market has lower highs. So here's a lower high. It has lower lows, lower high. You could call that a low, but I think you're better off going down here and lower low. So lower highs, lower low, lower high. So that is a confirmed downtrend. And what you're looking for on the reverse would be the opposite. So you're looking for higher lows and higher highs. So you can see that we got a change in trend, and that showed up. This still was a lower high if you're looking at this high over here. What happened was we got that lower high right here. So we are still in a confirmed downtrend. Nothing, is what it is. When your radar should have been going off was when we printed this right here. This was a higher low. And when the higher lows are finished being printed, that reaction move to the upside, which is usually that higher high, which is what we're seeing right now. This can be a parabolic move to the upside. And you're seeing that in the stock market and a lot of the stock indices, ETFs, and individual stocks. They printed that higher low and people are still bearish. And that reaction move is very, very strong. Just take a look at Tesla and you'll see what I'm talking about. Whether it's short covering or just the way the markets move, that reaction, that next move is usually quite strong. And we're seeing that here. Now this is a very zoomed in approach for Casper. If you take a zoom out, we're still in a giant sideways consolidation basing structure. But this is just a zoomed in approach, and just kind of show you that it looks like we are changing trend here, but the overall picture, we're still in this big base structure, and I'll show you that before this video is over. So yeah, we got a higher high. So far we got that breakout we were looking for, which was above this high, and we actually moved right up into this zone here, which I believe I mentioned in yesterday's video that I thought was a possibility that this thing, once it goes, could go pretty fast to the upside. I think I was actually talking about more of a up into this zone here, but that could still play out. It's a long day. So we're moving. We got now if we want to see a close above that high, I mean, even above this high would be nice to really give us that signal that says this thing is in a confirmed uptrend. So the trend has changed as of now, but obviously today's candle is not closed. It is still trading, so who knows what could happen. We could trade up, we could reverse hard and close lower on the day. We could close below that low right there. We will see, but right now it is quite strong. Two more things. We mentioned that this candle down here, which was the 15th of March, we were talking about that as being a potential bottom, and there was two reasons why. One is because it correlates with this area over here. So we were looking for a double bottom, a reaction move when the price got down there, which looking back, that has happened. And also it was almost an unchanged candle for the day. So we traded lower, traded higher, and basically the candle closed unchanged. So that looked to me like the selling has dried up and start to look for a move in the opposite direction, which obviously took place. So we will see what happens moving forward. Also, one more thing is, so we were looking for a higher low to get printed. So just like down here at the bottom, that basically an unchanged candle, when Casper printed that higher high right here on the 22nd of March, almost identical. Looks like an unchanged candle, if not very close. So that indicated to us that this pullback, which is right here, very slight pullback, is potentially done. The selling has dried up, and then we started to tick and trade higher, although quite slowly. And then today we got that, or as of now anyways, that big break to the upside, blowing past this high and flirting with these highs over here. Just some of my thoughts of not financial advice. So let me take some fib levels, and this is what I did, at least one of the scenarios I played out yesterday in the video. So I took this move here, just this last leg here in the downtrend, and I took this high, and then I went down to the low, and you could see that as of not long ago and as of yesterday, we were stuck at the 786 fib level right here, and you can see that's where we wicked off of on the 18th of March, consolidated, came back up to it, which is as of yesterday, flirted with it, and then not long ago, maybe an hour or two ago on the East Coast, so 4 o'clock in the morning, we were still stuck at that range. We were stuck at that range. We were trading right in here, and then we got that big break, and I will zoom into a different time frame and show you that in just a moment here. So that's where we're at now. So it looks like the overhead resistance, according to the fib levels, which is the 186. So the 186 right up in here is at 12 cents. Now that is just going off this move here. This will change, obviously, if you move the fibs, but not as much as you might think. So another overhead projection that you could look for, so like an area that the price could get up to and find a little bit of trouble, is that 1618 level, which is right around 12 cents, which is basically right here. So this area right in here. And if you take a little bit of a zoom out here on the chart, that also correlates perfectly with this whole trading range in here. So naturally, the price would find a little bit of a struggle in here. And that correlates with the 1618 Fibonacci level. So now this is obviously, like I mentioned before, a very zoomed in approach. Anything is possible. If they want to send this thing to the upside and break out past all of this, which is that bigger base structure I was talking about. I mean, I guess we'll go to that high. So this is just a giant basing structure, and it's building. And just like you got a small breakout here that I mentioned, that higher high, you'll get one past all of this, also printing a higher high because it would be higher than this high over here and this high over here as well. So same kind of idea, higher highs, but just a zoomed out approach, larger time frame. But like I said, you can see we are still in this purple box. We're still in a basing structure. So we could easily get up to this overhead, this where the prior highs were, and just pull back down. But big moves usually, not always, unfold one day at a time on smaller time frames. And it looks like that's what we're seeing here. Casper up 14%. So let me show you one more thing here. I'm going to go to a 3-minute chart. If you missed yesterday's video, you can go back and watch that if you'd like. But I mentioned that the 3-minute chart is at least my go-to for short-term trading. So, I mean, I'm not personally short-term trading Casper, but if you're a day trader, the 3-minute time frame is a very good time frame in my opinion. So you can see the massive breakout we got. Let me actually go back and show you this. I need the fibs on the chart. So real quick, we're going to throw the fibs on the chart again, taking that swing high to swing low. But now I want to zoom into the 3-minute chart and show you that. So if you zoom out here on Casper, you could see how the price was, I guess that's as far as I'll go. The price was bumping its head multiple times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, all along that Fibonacci level. Well, now this works in both scenarios, both to the upside, bullish, downside, bearish. When the price bumps its head on a very important area, it can only do it so many times and you'll get a massive break through that level. For this example, this is to the upside. It also works to the downside. So you could see the price bumped its head, it bumped its head, bumped its head a couple times, and then you got that massive break right through this area. Overhead resistance also correlates with a Fibonacci level. So a lot of volume came in, very strong power. And looks like we're getting some issues here. So I just wanted to show that on a smaller time frame, the basically just support and resistance. This scenario was overhead resistance. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Just want to share a quick quote here. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the crypto markets, more the stock market. So down here on my screen here, where there is a bull with some quotes, it says, "Most are better off buying an index fund and going back to work, but most do not even do that." Let me say that one more time. Most are better off buying an index fund and going back to work, but most do not even do that. Let that sink in. And why I mention that is because, yeah, we're talking about short-term, time frames and trading here. I'm not personally short-term trading Casper, but Perhaps some of you are, or other assets, XRP, Bitcoin, whatever. And if you have a good system, you can do very well short-term trading, you know, hourly, daily, weekly, whatever your time frame is that you like to trade. But if you don't have a good system that doesn't work, or a system that you can't follow the way it's supposed to be, your accounts will erode down to the downside to nothing, or you'll take bigger trades. Basically, you'll blow up accounts, and you don't want to do that. So why I mentioned this quote is most will not be able to outperform the general stock market year after year. So you're better off putting ego aside, buy an index fund, collect dividends over the long term, and you'll do extremely, extremely well. So just wanted to share that with you, although not necessarily as much to do with Casper itself or crypto, but it is just something that I think people need to hear and just think about, and just put the ego aside. And if you're not a good trader, keep working on finding that system that works. They are out there, but until then, stock up your money into index fund accounts, collect those dividends, and watch that money grow. And they have mock accounts that you can trade with virtual money and test out different systems before you throw your hard-earned money into there and learn that way. You can learn with paper money, although I agree it is not the same. Just something to think about, of course, not financial advice. Most are better off buying an index fund and going back to work, but most do not even do that because it's quote, quote, risky. So let's see what happens here with Casper, up 12%. Once again, finding a little bit of resistance at this level. Basically expected that, but the real resistance is up here at the 12-cent range. That is the next fib level to watch for. So keep your eye on that chart. Let's see if this thing, it's got a long way to go. Let's see if this thing breaks out and gets up to that next target at 12 cents. This candle has many, many hours left. As always, links down in the video description to our Patreon trading page. Although we do not offer signals for Casper, we have some other cryptos and futures in there as well. One more thing, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, right-hand side of my screen, sitting right in the middle, right at 50. I would have thought that would have changed as of yesterday's red candles. Yesterday, a little bit of fear out there in the crypto markets, but looks like that did not change the market sentiment. At least that hasn't kicked in yet, which I would have thought it would have, but who knows? Just wanted to share that. Not really sure how much it's worth. It's worth more when it's sitting at extremes. And what I mean by that is extreme fear or extreme greed. But when it's sitting neutral, it's really just another noisy indicator. All right, guys. Thanks. Welcome to the channel. Hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already. Greatly appreciate all of you. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Casper and the overall crypto markets, and I'll get back to all of you. All right, guys. Have a great Friday. Take care.